Do you use any particular tool like Unity or Construct or Stencil to develop your games, or do you actually code them from scratch?
So we make 2D games. Unity, etc. are tools for making 3D games. For 2D games, there are different tools. If you want to do 2D games in iPhone, your starting point is something called Cocos 2D. It's a very mature, high-level tool to make 2D games. For Android, there is something called And Engine. That's again a 2D tool to make games. On Flash, that's where our Facebook games are on. There is Flash by itself a 2D engine, so you don't really need a 2D engine to make games in Flash. For physics, we use something called Box 2D. It's a physics engine, so it's a combination of all these.
Los programas que usan para Android es
And Engine.
Engine.
Yeah. And Engine and Cocos 2D.
Y Cocos 2D para Apple.
Cocos 2D.
Y para Flash, para usar para los juegos de Facebook. Pero Unity por lo menos no en este momento, porque para las plataformas que estamos trabajando no lo necesitamos. Y Construct tampoco, porque no estamos haciendo cosas en HTML5, entonces por eso.
And one more point. In fact, there is one thing you should strongly consider when starting off. 3D games tend to be very complex, and it's very hard to because the expectation of the users are different. They have seen very AAA quality 3D games like Zinla and World of Warcraft. It's very hard for a new entrepreneur to start with a 3D game. You will spend a lot of time catching up to the production value that other games have in the market, and it's just unless you have funding or you have a lot of money to sustain, you shouldn't enter into with a 3D game. So for the first time in history over the last 5 years, 2D games are actually making more money than 3D games. Zynga is probably the biggest gaming company, and 95% or more of their games are just 2D games. So and that's actually good for independent developers, that now you can actually make a good 2D game and hope to make a lot of money.
Ya que un punto bueno a considerar es no empezar con un juego 3D, porque en aspectos técnicos es como bien complicado el tema del tiempo, el tema de las lucas, y es mejor empezar con un juego 2D. De hecho, como que hacen más plata que los juegos 3D actualmente. Zynga es una desarrolladora que tiene más o menos como 1000 empleados. Entonces, y ellos, la mayoría de sus juegos son 2D.
Any more questions? Here's one.
Hello?
Yeah.
Why you decide to start an independent company if you say your games is not original or are already created? So my question is why you decide work in an independent company and not in another company? Your motivation.
Okay. So, can you say in Spanish? Maybe I think she can translate.
¿Por qué decidió trabajar en una compañía independiente, siendo que sus juegos o sus ideas ya estaban creadas por otro, y no trabajar en una compañía por la cual podría haber trabajado y tener más ingresos? ¿O cuál fue su motivación, a fin de cuentas, en trabajar en una idea independiente?
Okay. Why you decide to start with your own project? Okay. Thinking that you're not having the original ideas, and why to start in another company when you maybe have more money?
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so Everybody should go to Google, and if you haven't seen Steve Jobs' Stanford speech, how many of you haven't seen this speech? Have not
No,
not
es
seen
que
this
no lo han
speech.
visto.
Okay, so after seeing this speech, one thing was clear in my life, that I cannot work for any other company. I cannot have a boss telling me what needs to be done. I cannot go to an office. I cannot sit there. I cannot file project reports. I cannot wait for my salary. And I cannot do all the office politics for a 10% increase in my salary every year. I cannot do that. Okay, sorry. So yes, I have to be independent, and I have to do my own company. That's taken for granted. Why we do not make original games is we are now making a lot of original games. We are a 1-year-old company. We have revenues. We are profitable. In fact, we made enough money in last 1 year so that now we can actually survive for next 3 years. We have enough money to survive for next 3 years. This I did not have when I started. So when I started, I did not want to take big risks. I did not want to start making a new game, spend 6 months making the game, and then finding out that, hey, people don't like this game, and I want to now make another game, and not having money to do that. So when I started with tried and tested ideas, because think of it like this. Let's say you were to open a restaurant. You want to open a restaurant on the beach, right? On a sea-facing restaurant with nice view and everything. But the plaza is somewhere else, where there are 20 other restaurants, right? But initially, if you open your restaurant on the beach, nobody's gonna come. It's just gonna be you and some of your friends. So when you start out, you have to go to where your audience is instead of bringing them to you. So my audience is looking for these games. They are looking for games like air hockey. They already know how to play poker. So they are looking for more poker games. And there are hundreds of poker games out there, right? So I go and become the 101st poker game and climb my way up to top 10 poker games. And I learn a lot of things. And now I have enough experience to make original games. And now audience know me. They have played some of my games. And they say, yes, we trust this guy. This guy made us, this guy entertained us over last 1 year with these games. So now they are more open to come and play my new game.
Yeah. Que para captar audiencia, como lo planteo así con los juegos 2D, es como irse como un poco a la segura, ya que tú estás siendo independiente y quieres tener el dinero para sobrevivir no sé cuántos meses. Ahora en este momento tiene para 3 años. Y después de eso dar un paso y, claro, empezar a hacer con lo demás. El ejemplo que dio de hacer un restaurante en la playa versus hacerlo acá, donde sí tu negocio acrecenta. En cambio, en la playa solamente iría tu familia y tus amigos y nadie más, porque en el invierno nadie va. Entonces, por ahora, la idea de ahora es empezar creando juegos a partir de la idea base de otro, con la gráfica original y todo eso, pero porque tú sabes que eso funciona. Ellos son como son independientes, están viviendo acá, entonces tienen que irse como más a la segura para después seguir dar el paso y empezar a hacer ya cosas como auténticas. Eso.
This question it's for you, but in the level of try to make a contract or give a job for example for us, because all we are digital animation and studio designer and video game designer and students, and so all we have a lot of ideas about video games in which platforms, and we want everything. We want to make, I don't know, a video game like Call of Duty, or maybe League of Legends. But right now, how I can convince to you to make a video game if I have the idea, all the plans, all the project. If I am the designer, the owner idea, and I wanted to show you because I know you can develop that video game.
Mhm.
What I need to know to convince you?
So, okay, so let me be a little rude here. Okay, and I know I was like you maybe 7-8 years ago, right? With lots of world-changing ideas, right? In fact, when I left my job at Google, I started working on something really big, and for the next 3 years, a lot of things happened that brought me down to the ground. So ideas are worth a penny. In fact, that's a quotation if you go to Silicon Valley, right? Ideas are not worth at all. Everybody you talk to has lots of ideas. I have lots of ideas about. If you, in fact, if you read, I bought a new game design book over my flight from San Francisco last weekend, and while reading the book, I had ideas for 10 new games, and I wrote them down, right? So if somebody comes to me and say, and a lot of people have done, they come to me and say, hey, we have idea, and we want to partner with you. You develop the games for us, and we will design it. It doesn't sell. It's a bad pitch, right? You can't go and say, hey, I have an idea and you work for me. Nobody does that. You can try it. It doesn't work, right? Because even the developers who are programming, they are not idealists. They have more ideas than you have, right? And they have practical ideas because they have done the implementation. They have already been through the process. So their ideas are more practical. They believe in their ideas more than they believe in your ideas. They might like your idea more, right? But they have to, they are more practical. They know what they can do in 6 months. They know what they can do in 1 year, right? For example, if right now you come to me and pitch a Call of Duty like game idea, I'm going to say, no, I cannot do it. I mean, I can make a very bad version of Call of Duty in 6 months, but not something which is, to make a good version of Call of Duty, you need a team of at least 50 people doing a lot of different things, and then you will probably make a good Call of Duty.
Yeah, but the Call of Duty game idea was only an example.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just saying another kind of video games, the kind of video games that you're developing right now.
Yeah. So here is the thing for. So if so you have to first rise up a ladder a bit, right? Because if you just have an idea, for example, if you have already designed some 4 or 5 successful games, you have you can say, hey, I made these 4 games already and they are successful, and now I want to partner with you, and and I'll do the design and you do the development. A lot of people would be open to that, and that's a good place to be. So for you, it's a chicken and egg problem. Right now, you just have ideas, so you have to first prove yourself. And one way to prove yourself is you are designers and you need to partner with developers. That's going to be your initial problem, right? And don't let that stop you. So decide that you want to do it. You want to become an independent game developer. You want to make games. You want to eventually make really big games, right? Okay. Once you have done that, do what is needed next. You have an idea, pick up a tool, find a tool that will help you get started. Just spend time learning it. Spend 1 month learning Cocos 2D if you want to make 2D games. Trust me, in 1 month, if you are learning Cocos 2D, you are probably posting into developer forums, you are going to developer meetups, you are going with a real problem. Developers don't want to talk to people who are not talking developers with them. If you go and talk to a developer and say, hey, Cocos 2D had this bug and I am stuck on it, developer will sit with you for 1 hour and help you solve that problem. Then he will become your friend. And then you can talk to him about the idea. If you just go and walk and say, hi developer, I have an idea, I want to make a game, will you work with me? No. You walk to him saying, hey, see, I did this cool thing in Cocos 2D. And see, this is your demo, this is my demo. Your demo is good, my demo is bad. And then you have found a friend, and then you can make partnership. So you really have to expand, get out of your comfort zone, learn a bit, and maybe who knows, I mean, I am a developer turned designer, and now I am designing my own games. Why can't you be a designer turned developer? You won't have to do it all alone. You will find partners, you will find friends who will work with you, who will help you around out the way. But you have to show that you can do it as well. You are not stuck on them, you're not bottlenecked on them. So you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to learn other things. And does that answer your question? It's too long for translate.
Sí, pero la idea básica y para complementar es como que tú eres el autor. Entonces es como que tú le vayas a vender a alguien tu idea y hacia una empresa grande donde ya tienen millones de ideas. Entonces como que es como la editorial y todas estas cosas. Entonces si tienes una idea súper original, hazla tú para que tenga como tu nombre más encima, como tu autoría y claro, encontrar los mejores a los mejores compañeros para trabajar y haciendo puras pruebas, pero yo creo que eso es lo que quiere transmitir, como que más que tú le vayas a dar, oye, tengo esta idea, y más encima yo creo que si tienes la idea es bueno hacer como esos demos y a lo mejor ya ir a alguna desarrolladora, pero es mejor eso, o sea, crearlo tú y por algo también él fomenta el que sean independientes, para que salga toda esta como nueva generación de nuevas ideas. Es como eso lo que quiere como transmitir.
Let's say in 5 more years, are you willing to get out of your comfort zone and start doing 3D games like in Unity?
Yes.
Like right now, your comfort zone is the 2D.
We are already out of our comfort zone in the sense that we are now making 2D games that are original. We are now making 2D games that are multiplayer, that are more social, and we are doing some like really disruptive experiments with gaming, because now we have funds, we have a team, and more importantly, we can do it faster. So here is one very simple thumb rule that I have. If I can make a game from start to finish in 2 months, I'm going to do it, right? So when we started, the best games that we could do in 2 months were the ones that we did. And we are far away from making 3D games. Maybe in a year, we will enter isometric games. You know isometric, the games like Farmville, which are not really 3D, but yeah. So, and eventually, yes, we will enter 3D games, and even things like making games with real world data, like Google Glass is coming. So making games that you could actually play with your Google Glass. Apple is definitely going to come with a TV and a control. And at that point, distributing 3D games is going to be very easy, because right now, if you make a 3D games, it's very hard to get distribution. You really need to form partnerships, and all that takes a lot of money, and you need to have money to make partnerships with people with money. So Apple is going to disrupt that market with launching their own TV and their own console. So yes, we will.
Ya que por los aspectos técnicos, también como para dar un poco más de información, ellos, claro, tienen como como su fortaleza en lo de los juegos 2D. Y por una cosa de plata, es como lo que les comentaba al principio, que por una cosa de plata no se hace más allá aún, porque puede que su zona de confort, ¿cachai? Después cambie y quizás en algún momento digas, es que ya me aburrí de esto y voy a lanzarme a algo más grande, pero también eso se necesita mucho equipo. Y aquí como estamos trabajando en Santiago, en oficina startup, también es un poco más difícil empezar a desarrollar unos juegos que tengan una dificultad técnica entre equipos y entre personas, que sea como más, es como un poco más complicado, pero tampoco quiere decir que no lo vaya a hacer en algún momento, pero por lo menos en este momento se está desarrollando esto, hay que dejarlo como bien potenciado, y de ahí ya quizás, claro, después piense así ya, 3D, pero eso también lleva mucho tiempo, y sobre todo si son pocas personas trabajando.
Any more questions?
Bueno, en nombre de la Escuela de Animación de Digital y Diseño de Videojuegos, queremos darle las gracias a Hart por su tiempo y muchas gracias a todos ustedes por su asistencia.
Thank you, everyone.